Hello students, today we are looking at the division of a line in a given ratio. Now if you are having this line PQ and you want to divide this particular line into a given ratio, into ratio P and Q. So now what you are going to do, just follow this formula to get the coordinates of A, which is the point where this particular line is divided into ratio P and Q. So that means you are going to say, well, to get the coordinate of x, the coordinate A, you want to get the coordinate A having in the x and y. So given in this ratio, we want to divide this line ratio P and Q. If this is P, this is Q. You want to get the coordinate that will bear this. When you are given the ratio, you have to divide this line. So you just take this to be the formula. To get x, that means you say, well, P ratio P times x2 plus ratio Q times x1 divided by the addition of the ratio. Likewise, you get y, ratio P times y2 plus ratio Q times y1 divided by P plus Q. Now let us look at these examples. Now we are told that R divide the line PQ where the coordinates of P and Q are 5, 2 and 3 and 7 respectively. That means the coordinate of P is 5, 2 and coordinate of Q is 3 and 7 respectively. So you are now in the ratio, you have to divide it in the ratio 4:3. Find the coordinate R. I'll divide the line PQ where the coordinate of P and Q are this and this respectively in the ratio 4:3. Find the coordinate R. So assuming this PQ, so this P is 5 and 2 and this Q is 3 and 7. So let's take this first one to be what? X1, Y1, and this one is what? X2, Y2. You want to get this coordinate where the coordinate of R where you're having X and Y. Now, they are told that this R divide this particular line in ratio 4:3. 4:3. So to get this particular coordinate, we said that you are going to use the formula X, P, ratio P, X2 plus Q, X1. P stands for the first ratio, then second ratio is Q, then divided by the addition of the ratio. So that means the first ratio here is what? P is what? 4 times our X2. This 4 times our X2 is what? 3 plus then Q is what? 3 times our X1 is what? 5 all over the addition of the ratio. So 4 times 3 will give us 12 plus 3 times 5 will give us 15 divided by 4 plus 3 is 7. 12 plus 15 will give us 27 divided by 7. So 27 divided by 7 will give us 3.9. Now, we want to get the corresponding value for y. So you are going to use the same formula P y2 plus Q y1 over P plus Q. P and Q stands for the ratio. P is represent the first ratio, which is what? Which is 4. Q represent the second ratio, which is what? 3. Then y2, y1 all over P plus Q. So here our P is what? 4 times, then our y2 is what? 7. So you substitute 7 there plus then our Q here is what? 3, the second ratio, then times then our y1 will give us what? 1. So this is your 1 time, will give us 2 rather. So then times 2 all over the addition of the 2 ratio, which will give us what? 4 plus 3. So you now have 4 times 7 will give us 28 plus 3 times 2 will give us 6 divided by 4 plus 3 is 7. 28 plus 6 will give us 34 divided by 7. 34 divided by 7 will give us what? 4.9. So the coordinate of r will now be what? For x we having 3.9 and for y we having what? 4.9. So the r will divide that line into the ratio 4:3. It will divide into 4:3. How? By that means in the value for your x here will be what? 3.9, and this y will be what? 4.9 will be the coordinates for r. Now let us have another example. The point C divide the line AB where the coordinate of A and B are 3, 2. The coordinate of A is 3, 2, and the coordinate of B to be 4, 1 respectively. In the ratio, you are told to do it in the ratio 3:-2. Find coordinate of C. You are told to look for the coordinate of C. So now we said that for it to get the, we know that your coordinate of A is what? 3 and 2, and your coordinate of B is what? 4 and 1. If your C is here, so now you want to know the, and you are told that the ratio of what? Of 3 and 2, the ratio is for 3:-2. So you want to know the coordinate here. Now because this is minus, that is why it is now outside here. Now to know the coordinate here, so that means you take the coordinate x to be what? P x2 plus q x1 over p plus q. So the coordinate C, if that is x and y, for your x we have p x2 plus q x1 over p plus q. And we said that what? Your p and q represent the ratios. That means the first and second ratio. P represents 3 and q represents -2. So that means you now say that what? So if this one, your x1 is what? 3, y1 is what? 2, your x2 is what? 4, and y2 is what? 1. So that means you now say that your p is what? 3, abi 3 times your x2 here is what? 4, plus then your q is what? -2 times your x1 will give us 3 divided by the addition of the ratio 3 plus -2. 3 times 4 is give us 12, plus -2 times 3 will give us -6. -6 plus times minus give us -6 eventually, over plus times minus here is what? -3 -2. So that means you now have what? That is your 12 minus 6 will give us what? 6, and 3 minus 2 will give us 1 is equal to 6 divided by 1 is what? 6. So that means the value for 6 for x there is 6. Now let's look for y. So for y also, you are going to go by the same formula. You will go by the same formula. P y2 plus q y1 over p plus q. And we said that what? Our p is the first ratio, which is 3, times then the second ratio, which is what? And the second coordinate y2 1, plus then our q is the first is the second ratio -2 times the y1 is what? This 1, this is what? This is 2 over the addition of the ratio, which will give us 3 plus -2. So 3 times 1 will give us 3. -2 times 2 is what? -4. Plus times -4 will give us what? -4 over plus times minus is also -3. 3 minus 2. 3 minus 4 will give us -1 over 3 minus 2 is what? +1. So that means we have -1 divided by 1 is equal to -1. So the coordinate C, where it will divide that two coordinates A and B into the ratio 3 ratio -2, will be what? 6 minus 1. X will be 6, y will be -1. So the coordinate of C will now be what? X is 6, y is -1. So for your work practice, find the coordinate of the point which divide the lines joining the following pairs of points in the given ratio. No, we want to look for the coordinate that will divide the point 5 and 8 and -1 and 3 into ratio 2 ratio 3. The coordinate that will divide 4, 7 and 3 and -2 into the ratio 4 ratio 5, and the coordinate that will divide -8 and 5 and 4 -7 into the ratio -3 and 4. Please ensure you like, subscribe and comment on this video. Thank you.